Hi there, this is Andrew Paul Smith, and today is another amazing day in this wonderful thing we call life. Today I want to talk to you about magic, and I want to tell you about a particular day which seemed like a very ordinary day. I was, both me and my good lady, we went quite regularly up to York, here from where we are in Sheffield. It's about an hour up the A1, the A1M, and we got up there to York as usual to watch our favourite local band called the Wise Guys. And we were used to the Wise Guys having surprise guests, and we were looking for a particular guest to turn up. Didn't turn up, but there was somebody else turned up that night. In fact, it was a band, and they played when the Wise Guys were taking a break, and their name was, guess what? Rush Our Soul. Yes. And I didn't realise it, but I was quite annoyed when they took the stage, because usually the Wise Guys would have 10 minutes break and they'd be back. These guys, Rush Our Soul, seem to be on forever. 20 minutes, half an hour. And by the time they finished their set, I was absolutely thrilled to bits that these guys had shown up from West Coast America to play this little venue in York. And I got talking to them afterwards. And I was so pleased when I heard that they were on a UK tour. They're going to be in Barnsley the following night. And I decided that's where I wanted to be. So myself and Anne and a friend of ours, Emma, we went to see Rush Our Soul play Barnsley, and got talking again to them at the end of the gig. And the lead singer, Norman Kelsey, Norman said to us, well, if you're ever in LA, you'll have to hang out with us. And I just laughed. I just thought it was so funny that he would say, if you're ever in LA, which is Los Angeles for those of you who don't know American speak. And I'd never been on a plane. I was 47, 48 years of age, never been on a plane. So the idea of me flying off to the west coast of America was just a complete joke. So I just smiled and nodded and said, yeah, that'd be really good. I'd really enjoy that. But not only did we go to LA the following year, myself and Anne, for our silver wedding anniversary, but we hung out for 4 days in LA with Norman and with Patty, and before we flew on to Las Vegas and went to see 3 shows with Richard Marx at the Orleans. And while we were in, it was weird because we went on this big aeroplane, hundreds of people sat there, for our very first flight, but then we got on an internal flight from LAX to Las Vegas. But when we got to Vegas, that wasn't the end of our air trips, because we then got on a 17-seater plane to the Grand Canyon, and then obviously we had to do the 3 return flights. But yeah, we were in LA and Norman showed us around, and I just want to talk about magic, because today might seem like a very ordinary day. You might be just going about doing the normal things that you do, and suddenly something steps out of the background and brings your attention to it, and your life is suddenly never the same again. We've got 2 wonderful friends in Norman and Patty. They've been over to the UK 3 or 4 times now. Each time they usually come to the International Pop Overthrow Festival in Liverpool, but we spend quality time with them, and we had obviously quality time with them in Los Angeles. And Norman was so kind. He was like having our own very personal guide. We went to so many places in those 4 days. We couldn't possibly have got to all those different places in such a short space of time as we got to, because Norman was with us and looking after us. And can't wait to get out there again. It's not happened yet. Norman keeps saying, when are you coming out to LA, Andrew? And I said, yeah, as soon as. And basically, as soon as the bank balance will allow it, I'd love to go back. Call it La La Land, but it's magical, absolutely magical. Here's a place that just had orange groves, and Charlie Chaplin, in the days of silent movies, decided it would be far better to go to the West Coast and record his films there because there were more days of sunshine. And now there's a city of about 12 million people. It's just crazy how things just spin on the flip of a coin or the turn of a dice or whatever it is. So be ready and waiting and expectant for magic to come into your life. This is Andrew Paul Smith of www.apsmithonline.com, and my email address if you want to write to me, if you want to tell me about some magic that's happened to you or that you're ready for the magic when it comes, info@andrewpaulsmithonline.com. So have a magical day, be inspired, and speak to you tomorrow. Bye for now.